program is brought to you in association with First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?
A desire to create or grow businesses to increase participation in the economy has catalyzed the exponential growth of the alternative lending or financing industry, such as invoice financing, purchase order financing, and the likes. While this has made it easier for small businesses to have access to loans without all the red tape, it has also unfortunately meant an increase in small business loan scams. When you add the COVID-19 pandemic to the mix, the situation becomes disastrous, as now businesses are becoming more vulnerable to scammers. Fraudsters who run these scams work on the business owner's desire for quick, affordable funding by trying to steal their money, personal information, business information through pretending to be respected brands, bankers, or other people they know. The thievery will stop at nothing to defraud unsuspecting individuals attempting online contact through websites, most notably emails. At this rate, your best defense is to remain cautious whenever someone asks you for money, personal information, or non-public business information. What are some of these scams that you need to be aware of as a small business owner or just someone looking for funding? And what can you do to prevent being defrauded of your hard-earned money? Richard Harriman from the Consumer Watchdog is on First Issues to answer some of these questions.
This is the perfect time for scammers. Scammers have probably been waiting for a time like this. Everything is in their favor right now. We're locked down to some extent. We're socially distancing. We're not having face-to-face meetings. We're doing things online. This is how scammers have been working in the past. If they're working from a foreign country, it's all done through the internet, through the web, through email, through WhatsApp, and so on. And we've all moved to that now. And it's now much more normal for people to have meetings like this. We're meeting online. In the past, we would have met face-to-face. Now we're meeting online. It's now become more normal to conduct scams. But more and more of them, I think, are being based locally now because it's given scammers that opportunity to exploit this situation we're in. I mean, you will have seen, many of us have seen, an email turns up offering us a tender to supply government, to supply the Ministry of Finance, to supply the Ministry of Health, to supply Agriculture, to supply Botswana Railways. That was a big one once. And water utilities and BPC. An email turns up saying, it doesn't mention your name, by the way. It doesn't say Richard, it doesn't say Bonantakwa. It just says, dear friend, here's a deal. We need to supply generators or equipment of some sort. And it's often extremely convincing. I mean, these emails look professional. They have forms attached to them that look just like a form from the Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Agriculture or Botswana Railways. And they often give the names of real people and real landline numbers. But they rely on the fact that none of us use landline numbers these days. We all use our cell phones. We all use WhatsApp. That's the fake bit. So we're seeing those sort of things. We're also seeing a lot more of the sort of entrepreneurial scams where I'll contact you saying, I can provide funding for you. I can provide funding for your business, for your new business idea. I'm an international investor and so on. But the thing that's really interesting and where we've seen a lot of people lose quite a lot of money is crowdfunding scams, where people invite you to invest in their firm. They have some fantastic opportunity, some fantastic new high-tech idea, often based in Botswana, often partnered with international companies, it seems. And they offer you and me the opportunity to get involved in crowdfunding. Now, crowdfunding, like Bitcoin, it's one of those things that's relatively new, like cryptocurrencies in general. Crowdfunding is valid. I mean, I know people who've raised money through crowdfunding for medical bills, for charities. There's nothing new with crowdfunding. Anyone who's contributed towards a charity in the past, to the local orphanage or to a reputable charity, that's crowdfunding. Lots of people giving small amounts. Crowdfunding of businesses is a new thing. And we've seen several scams, several business ventures, supposedly, who've invited people to become investors, to buy shares perhaps, or just to get some sort of bond or agreement where you put in 1,000 pula, 5,000 pula, 10,000 pula, and you become one of many people who have an opportunity, they say, an opportunity to make lots of money from this fantastic new business venture. The question, of course, is what do you get in return? What do you get? Shares and the promise of profits. Now, many people watching us talk now will have seen some of these schemes. They'll have seen that they very quickly collapse. And it's perfectly possible. I mean, I'm being charitable. It's possible that the people running these schemes originally thought it was something legitimate. Yeah. I do have a genuine opportunity. I do have a genuine, amazing business idea. But I suspect a lot of them are actually themselves being scammed by the company overseas or the agent that introduced them. But eventually it means people like you and me who are seduced by this opportunity to invest in a company, to invest in a business idea. And they're often green technology issues, that sort of the sexy thing right now. We're all into these things. Yeah. And I'm seeing more and more of them. And the problem is that I don't see any of them working.
While these scams also happen to large enterprises, the limited research evidence that is available suggests that small enterprises are particularly vulnerable to them and they're less likely inclined to report them and are likely to be subject of repeat offenses and are particularly susceptible to these online scams. Why do you think that is?
It is about desperation. We are living in desperate times. We're living in difficult times. Financially, we don't have as much money as we used to have. I think it's also worth exploring, this is a strange angle perhaps, but exploring the mental health angle of what we're going through. We've gone through the last, 18, 20 months or something of stress and anxiety and depression. And I think it's made us a bit more vulnerable, particularly those of us who people are starting up little businesses, those fantastic youth-based industries that we see, these entrepreneurs that are coming up. I meet them all the time, these brilliant young people who have got fantastic ideas and skills, but we're all a little vulnerable right now. And we're particularly prone to someone who comes along and provides solutions, amazing solutions. I can fund your business, partner with me. We can make a lot of money. Well, it's very hard to make a lot of money right now. Very few industries are making lots of money, and very few startups make money in the initial period, in their startup period. And they're preying on our vulnerability. They're preying on our anxiety. They're preying on our fragility right now.
In Africa, help is what we do. That is why we at FNB are relentlessly driven to provide real help to you. The passionate and courageous, the creators and the optimists. These are the entrepreneurs we support, the communities we uplift. It is because of you that real help is what we do. FNB, how can we help you?